can tell that you are looking to get into a completely new field of work, something you've never done before, you're hesitant to do, but you really think that this is a good idea. If that is the video you are looking for, then you are in the right spot. Stay tuned. My name is Wendy and you are here with Career Elevation, where in this YouTube channel we talk everything about leaving your position, getting into a new position, everything about resumes and cover letters and resignation letters, and everything surrounding that. You're looking to get into a new position, something you've never done before, you've never gotten into this field, you've never had a position like this before, and you're wondering, how can I make my resume, how can I make me stand out to them, to have them know that this is something I really want to do, that I didn't just accidentally send my resume to them. This video is going to address that. Why are you hesitant anyways? Why are you hesitant about getting into a job that you've never done before? You don't know if this is going to be the best decision of your life. Now, you could also be concerned about maybe this is the worst decision of your life, but you know, you're not married to your job. You can pick up and you can leave. And if you switch to a completely new position and you're thinking, oh, but I'm going to be telling everybody that I'm doing this new thing, and then if it fails, I am going to be embarrassed. Who gives a shit? Why does it matter? Why are you putting your potential love and freedom for what you're going to be doing in somebody else's hands? That is fear. That is worry. And how often do those things really happen? How often is a coworker of yours, a friend of yours, a family member of yours, how often do you think you're actually going to hear, oh, I'm so sorry that position failed and you had to go back to doing what you were doing? That's not going to happen. And if that does happen, then you probably don't need to be friends with that person. And you need to tell them to go find Jesus or something. Let's get into the good part. Let's talk about transferable skills. So if you are working in a position right now, let's say you're a dental hygienist and you want to get into sales. I feel like there's so many hygienists out there that I work closely with, and a lot of them want to get into sales, but they don't know the right next step to take. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you every day you are selling. You are selling yourself or you're selling your practice. Kind of go hand in hand, so I guess I'll just put one finger up. You're selling yourself or you're selling your practice for the patients to be able to come back to trust you to work on their teeth, or the dentist to work on their teeth, or somebody within the practice to work on their teeth, okay? The next thing that you're selling is oral hygiene. You are teaching them every single time they come in, you are teaching them how to take care of their teeth. So this means that when they go home and they brush their teeth, or they floss their teeth, or they don't drink as much coffee, or they don't drink coffee after whitening, or they don't drink as much soda. All of these things are things that you are teaching to your patients or your customers, if you will. Every day you are in sales, you are selling something. The third thing that you sell is dental work. So that doesn't necessarily, if you're not in dental, don't turn away and don't be scared of the dentist. They're not trying to sell you things. They're simply educating you. But in their head, if they can mentally think about the fact that they are technically selling something to you, even though they don't necessarily monetarily get a commission on a crown that they sell or whatever, they are still selling the thought, the idea, the education, the reasoning behind getting these services done. You can really transfer these skills into sales, for example. So if you decide to go into selling cars, what are you going to do with selling cars versus hygiene, dental hygiene? With a car, you're going to have to tell them about the features. So you're going to teach them about their teeth or the features of the car. You're going to have to let them take it for a test drive, which is a cleaning, which is your education. And then what are you going to do? you're going to take them and allow the financial part of it, either you're going to take care of the financial part or another, like a manager within the sales force for selling cars, they will take care of that. Now in dental, that sales part, like the financial, the money part of it, that is usually held by the front office, the front team. So it is very transferable skills when you think about it like another business. So I hope that that analogy has really helped you understand how you can take your skills and transfer it into another skill set for selling. If you're still not quite convinced, then I will encourage you to continue to increase your sales steps, your sales skills. And I encourage you to read books or listen to podcasts. I actually just finished yesterday or the day before, I finished a book by Nikki Rausch of Sales Maven. That is her business name, Sales Maven. How to be great at sales without seeming salesy. She also has a podcast I just started listening to this morning. That is a really, really great book to listen to. This book just came out a few months ago. I do know that there's a lot of sales books out there that are really old and they're kind of stale. I get that if you don't want something stale, which is exactly why I typed in sales book and then like searching for the release date for the last 12 months. And I found Nikki's book. She is amazing, and I can only imagine how much sales that she has done in the past, because she really works on building relationships. And what do dental hygienists do? They work on building relationships. That's step one of sales, relationships. But Wendy, I don't do sales. There's nothing salesy about my position. Bullcrap. On top of reading those books, I'm going to encourage you to put that into practice every day for whatever you're doing. So if you're a dental hygienist, then I'm going to encourage you to practice this on your patients. If you have children, if you have a spouse, if you have a boss or a manager, you have anybody in life and you want to get one step closer to something that you want, I encourage you to take some of these sales tactics and implement them into your own life and see how they can work for your own benefit, okay? There are so many different things that we can do utilizing sales tactics. And I don't want you to discount the fact that reading sales books or listening to podcasts or books on sales, that it's going to not give you any benefit. It will always give you benefit no matter what you are doing and where you're at in life. Even if you don't want to go into a sales position, I promise it will still give you a benefit in life. So work on that. Now, if you are trying to get into another field or even into sales, I encourage you to go online and find a digital course. Find something that is self-paced, or if you can work with a business coach in whatever field you want to go into, so that on your resume, you can say that you're taking these active steps, you're doing these things, and you can actually spell it out and you're being honest. In one of the other videos that I've done, I said that you can take a course, you can sign up for a course, and then you can put it on your resume and you can submit it. But by the time you actually get to the interview, you have to have done part of the course, because if you go through and you say on your resume that you're doing this course or that this course is under your belt, but you haven't even opened the book yet, then you might be in a little bit of trouble. So I highly encourage you to, if you have the opportunity, if you have the time, I encourage you to purchase the course, start the course, and work on it, work through it, while continuing to work at your position now. Hopefully you can do that. Hopefully you still have a position, and that you can give it a few weeks or a few months while you're actively working on yourself, so that once you get into the interview, you will be much more positive because you have some of these things under your belt already. Some people out there have the luxury of working in a small business, in a small office. Why is this beneficial? Because you can kind of tweak your title of what you do, you can kind of tweak your title to help you, to help out what you do. So if you're a dental hygienist and you want to get into sales, you can say that you are a sales hygienist. Why would you want to change the name or the title of what you do? Because the top fold, or above the crease, above the fold, on your resume is the most important information. So imagine if you are the interviewer and you get a resume in front of you. Obviously this is a notebook, but you get a resume in front of you. What's the first thing you do? You look at their name and you look at their title. If you have the opportunity to tweak the title of your name ever so slightly, you have the opportunity to give yourself a step up. If you are able to change the name of your title, even just ever so slightly. If you can't, now you can say dental hygienist turned sales hygienist, okay? So this is still above the fold, above the crease, whatever you want to call it, and it's still giving the same information, the same impression. If they see dental hygienist turned sales hygienist, they're going to stop and think, what in the heck are they talking about? And they're going to continue to read your resume. Now, this is where those books or those courses are going to come in handy at the bottom of your resume. So a lot of times they'll see your name and your title, and then they might briefly scan over your employees, and then they'll go directly to the bottom where there's education or there's the other section. And this is where you're going to add in those books or those courses in the other section on the bottom. If you didn't know, you have about 6 seconds to make the impression for the interviewer to say yes or to say no. 6 seconds. This is the reason why the top fold is so important, and to draw them in immediately, because you've got 6 seconds. That's an insanely short amount of time, but it is incredibly true, because I do the same thing. I look through hundreds and hundreds and thousands upon thousands of resumes until I find the right candidate. If you're still feeling particularly nervous to go into your interview, I am going to give you a few little tips here. The first one being, I want you to read over that job description and almost kind of memorize it if you can. Take in all of those words that are on your job description, the one that you want the most, and I want you to memorize some of those words, and if you can, put some of those words in the job description into your resume. If you can also remember mentally some of these words in the interview, and if you're able to go onto their website and take some of the lingo that they do, the lingo that they use, I should say, take some of that lingo and add that information into your resume as well, or into your interviewing answers, that is going to be super, super key. The last step with us talking about your resume, if your resume is black and white and you look at it with fresh new eyes and you think, wow, this is just shitty, I get it. There's a lot of resumes that come to my side of the screen and they're just absolutely terrible. So let me give you a few steps, a few things to do. Step number 1 is if you can add just a pop of color. It could just be your name or your title, just a pop of color, or the whole thing but as a very, very pale color. Step 2, have your resume to be only 1 page. 1 page, that's all they want. They want to be able to interview you. They don't want to read your interview answers on your resume. They don't want to read through a whole bunch of crap. Sometimes there's even, I've gotten resumes that are 3 pages long. I look at it and I'm like, oh, this looks gross. I don't want to read this. And I just don't even look at it. There are many, many, many people who do that. So I encourage you to make your resume very beautiful. Now, if you want to know how to make your resume beautiful, then 2 weeks ago, I posted a video on how to use Canva, the website, to make your resume. This will make them very, very pretty, very elegant, and they have a lot of templates on there for you to be able to utilize. So I encourage you to go back and watch that video. I will put that link in the show notes below, as well as the very end clip. You'll be able to click on that video and watch that as well. The last piece of advice here for completely going into a new field that you've never gone into, this is going to make you particularly nervous going into the interview. So what I'm going to tell you to do is I want you to mentally think about who is your favorite actor or actress and why do you like them? Usually they exude some kind of confidence or elegance about them that you would like to have that trait for yourself, right? Thinking. Yes. Okay. So if you can take their confidence or their elegance and you can absorb all of that in. Now don't lose me. Don't click off just yet. If you can mentally think about the answers that they would give in the interview and tell your interviewer those answers that you think that your favorite actress would give, this can be very helpful. If you can exude that confidence, pretend like you are somebody else just for a hot minute. I know that interviewing is not that fun for most people. I enjoy it. It's kind of interesting and fun to me. But if you can exude that confidence and rehearse the questions. Now, if you're watching this video, if it's not the same day as the interview, then you're going to have time to rehearse your questions and your answers and remember some of those different tidbits that you have taken from their website or their Facebook page. Now, also, if you go onto their website, if they're a good company, then you'll be able to see their information everywhere. They're going to have ads that are going to pop up on your phone through Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and Google if they're a good company, if they're a good, strong company. So be ready for that and take notes, even with those ads. That I encourage you to remember that you have shoes on your feet. You have shoes on your feet. You can walk into a new position. You can walk out of that position. You can walk into a new field. You can walk out of a new field. That is okay. And just know that whatever you're doing, if you fail, you will learn from that failure. Don't take that failure as a complete loss. Every single step that you take in life, in your work life, in your personal life, is one step closer to becoming who you are. Think about the last few steps that you've taken in your professional career. If you didn't have those steps, would you be where you're at today? Would you be looking for this position? That could be taken in a good way and in a bad way. You've made it through the whole video. Thank you so much for sticking around. And watching the entire video, I can tell you, will give you good juju. It will give you good vibes, okay? In addition to that, I will always tell you that you can work with me one-on-one if you need additional help, if you need additional assistance. I can do career coaching with you, or I can do a mock interview with you, in addition to some other services. So if you're interested in that, then go ahead and click in the show notes below and just click on Work with Wendy, and it will take you straight to me. We can work together on a strategy call and figure out how I can help you get into that dream position. Because we know that if we apply for our position that we want, we get the interview, we usually only get one opportunity for the interview. It's usually a make or a break. Sometimes positions will open in 6 months from now, or 12 months from now, or 2 years from now, and you can reapply. But if this is your dream job, your dream position, you don't want to pass this up. So if you need some additional one-on-one help, I am your gal. I will help you with that. So go ahead and click on that Work with Wendy below, and I will see you on the other side of the screen. See ya.